Welcome back to my YouTube channel, everyone. Kyyah Savage, aka Kyyah, back with another video. For those of you who are not subscribed, go ahead and hit the button below so they can get notifications at the start of every week when I upload new YouTube videos. Today, I'm going to be answering a few questions that I have received related to careers, so I'm just going to read through the list and answer them. Okay, question number 1 says, I need experience to get a job, but I need a job to get experience. What do I do? That is the phenomenon that every person in college experiences. I would say start out volunteering. A lot of times when you start out as a volunteer and employers see that on your resume, it'll help you get the job. For example, I started volunteering in the pediatric surgical unit at Yale University before I started working at CVS as a pharm tech. Being a biology major and also being a volunteer at a hospital around pharmacists, around nurses, around doctors enticed them to hire me for the pharm tech role. So essentially, look for volunteer opportunities, and honestly, I would just say keep applying. The worst thing they could do is tell you no. So if you don't have the experience, I would just say keep applying, and if you do get to the interview stage, try and sell yourself in the best way possible to assure them that you will do well in the role. So volunteering and selling yourself the right way. Next question, what is ATS and how do I make sure my resume gets past it? If you're making sure your resume gets past it, I think you know what ATS is, but essentially ATS is a system. So when you apply to these jobs online, a lot of times it'll go through a system before it reaches even a person. And if the ATS system doesn't see certain keywords, it's just gonna put it basically into the trash, or I don't know, virtual trash. It's not even gonna get to anyone. So to make sure your resume gets past ATS is to look at the job you're applying to before you submit your resume. Make sure that you have certain keywords that they say in the job description on your resume. And this is why I always tell people, as annoying as it is, your resume is consistently changing. You have one that's a general resume, and then you should have multiple based off of that general resume. So if you're applying for different roles, one of them focuses on, I don't know, project management, and another one focuses on strategy, you want to make sure that you are putting keywords for strategy for the strategy job and project management skills for the project management job. So just make sure your resume has keywords on it to get past the ATS system. When reading a resume, what red flags do recruiters and employers look for? I would say typos. Even myself, I've seen some people send me their resume and things are spelled wrong. I also like to believe that if your resume is aesthetically unpleasing or super cramped or too long, I think those are red flags. Because if your resume is too long, you could be fabricating things or fabricating roles, and then typos just shows that you're careless. Like, why would you submit a resume that has typos? Oh, have you ever been fired? And what did you do after getting fired? Well, I've never been fired. I've never been fired from a job. So I can't really speak to what you do after getting fired, but if I ever were to get fired, God forbid, if that ever happened, I honestly would probably just take a trip. Every time something crazy happens to me in my life, or like just super overwhelming, if I just spontaneously pick up and I'm in another country or another state at random, chances are I'm going through it. So for those of you who are experiencing that type of thing, I would say if you have the means, take a trip. What do you love about your job? I love that I'm able to be a part of different things. This is my favorite question because I have so many friends who are indecisive and I don't understand how. But how do you make decisions? I just make them. I know what I want in life. I know what my overall goal in life is, as broad as it may seem. I know who I am. I know what I want to do and where I want to go. So I just make the decision. I just make decisions. How do you organize your time? I'm gonna show you guys right now. For example, I put everything in my calendar. So I know what time I'm waking up to go on a run. I know what bracket of time I'm gonna be at work from, whether it's 8:30 to 5 or 9 to 5:30. I know what meetings I have at work in that block. I know if I have to go to class that day. I know what assignments I'm working on. So I put everything in my phone to remind myself of what needs to get done. I use the reminders app. Every iPhone has it. I have 2 day planners. No, I have 1 day planner, and then I have also just like a notebook so I can write down, like, if something comes to my mind for a Kyyah Savage video, I'll write it down, so that when it comes time for me to make videos, I'm not sitting around wasting time trying to figure out, oh, what do I want to do? I'm just very, very organized with my time management. This is the last question, and I actually really appreciate this question. What do you think are the secrets behind getting to where you need to go in life? I think everything that I've talked about in answering all those other questions, time management, organization, just making decisions to make decisions, that's what it takes to get to where you need to go. If you don't know exactly what you want to do in life, that's totally okay. Don't let anyone tell you have to know at 18, 19, 20, 21, like whatever, your 20s, you have to know exactly what you want to do, because in reality, none of us really know. Let me read that question again because it was a good question. I think the number one key is just being passionate about what you're doing. That's the number one thing about being able to get to where you need to be in life, is realizing what you're truly passionate about and following that. And then the levels of excelling will come far too naturally. That's all I have for today. Thank you so much for all those who asked questions. Continue to send me questions in my email. I love making videos like this, and thank you for the person who made the suggestion. Check back every week for new YouTube videos. And of course, don't forget to visit www.kyyahsavage.com. Also follow us on YouTube by subscribing. Follow us on Twitter, Tumblr, and Instagram. Thanks so much for watching, guys.